Time to do some updates from the snake room. Hey guys, it's Rich from Predator BP, and this channel is all about the hobbyist keeper and breeder of ball pythons. So if that interests you, hit that subscribe button. And this channel is following me on my return into the hobby this year after being gone for 3 years. Now guys, I'm really starting to think about what kind of content I'm going to put out and what I'm going to continue to do going forward, because things have changed. You know, when this channel existed 3 years back and it was very educational, things were very different. I was in a different place. And since I've returned to the hobby, I thought more and more about what am I going to do with this channel. I still want to educate and I still want to help people new coming into the channel, but I want to do more and more of following my own journey. And I think following my own journey and the things I'm relearning and the new things I'm coming across, and putting them out there in a vlog style is still going to help educate people, isn't it? Rather than doing those very, presented videos of today, I'm here to talk to you about how to sex your snake and probing and heat temperatures. And, I can do all of that stuff, but I'm starting to think, is it better for me to lean more towards a bit of a vlogging style, just talking about what's going on week to week, the new things I'm coming across, and sharing my passion for these animals and for these snakes. But I'd like your input on that, because at the moment I'm kind of torn as where to take it, if I'm being honest. I've come back to the hobby and I had a great response and I've built up my collection and I'm breeding now and I'm all excited about it. But in terms of that type of direction with the media that I'm doing, what's going to be the best way to go? What's going to make me happy? Sharing my animals and sharing this hobby and getting to connect with you, as I've been doing the whole time I've come back. But what's the best way to do that? And what do you want to see from this channel? It's tough now. Even the real top guys out there aren't getting the views and the traction on their videos anymore. There's no doubt we're at a very challenging time in the hobby in general. And the only way we're going to change that is by coming together and lifting each other up and doing more media to put out there the reasons why people should be in this, why we should keep reptiles, why ball pythons are really special, why you should breed, all of this stuff. We have to come together to support each other and lift each other up in order for the hobby to get back up there again, because it is different. And I'm kind of shocked at the difference since coming back. I knew there was a difference there. I knew the market had dropped. I knew people were struggling. I knew a lot of people had dropped out of doing things like YouTube. So many people had disappeared that were really going for it when I was going for it 3 years ago. But guys, look, there's just some of my random thoughts. Let me know, please. Jump down in the comments. And again, thank you to everybody that has been supporting this channel, sending me messages. I really appreciate it. So what am I going to talk about this week? Well, a couple of learnings from this week. Number one, I'm going to talk about what I've seen in my breeding male. So let's start off with the Batman, who's het for Desert Ghost. So here he is, guys. This is my Batman who's het for Desert Ghost, and look, he's just saying hello now. And the reason I wanted to talk about him is he's my only male that's breeding at the moment. Okay, and he's a good enough size to breed. He'd been feeding really, really strongly once he had got settled in from coming in. And he's only going to one female. I mean, I don't tend to put one male to multiple females anyway. I don't have sort of a big enough collection for that. I tend to have, one male to be able to go to a female. I'm sure that'll happen a little bit down the line, especially with the Hurricane boy. He's probably going to go to multiple females at some stage. So the work for this boy isn't particularly taxing. But what I did notice this week is he was a ferocious feeder. And he went in with the Enchy Cypress Het Cryptic. You might have seen that from my last video. And you might have seen the pictures of the beautiful lock on Instagram. And I noticed they stayed locked for a good couple of days. Well, this boy was tired. And the reason I know he was tired is when he went back into his enclosure, he went straight into his hide and you didn't see him. And he was his behavior was he would always be out most of the time, especially in the evening, and hunting for food. And I fed, I did my second feeding last night, so I feed over 2 nights so that I can gauge who's going to feed and who's not, and try not to waste any of the rodents. And he weren't interested at all, and it's the first time I've ever seen him turn down a meal. But it just made me very conscious of the fact that males do switch off during breeding. It's important to offer to them, but it's important to let them rest and get some space, because it's taxing on them. It is taxing, this breeding malarkey, isn't it, mate? It don't look like you're doing much, but you are. You really are, aren't you? So I just wanted to document that. You know, it's the first time I've seen it happen that quickly, where it's just the breeding has kind of knackered him out, and he needs a bit of a break, and it stopped him feeding. So, you know, I'll continue to watch him because I want him to carry on feeding. You know, he's a lean boy like most males, and we want him to stay a healthy weight and everything else. So he will carry on being paired to the Enchi Cypress het cryptic, but I think it's something just to be conscious of, that we don't push our males too far, and we keep an eye on their general well-being and care just as much as we would with our females, because the females get all the focus, right? They're the ones that we need to pack on the size. They're the ones that are going to produce the eggs, and they're the ones we fuss over. But it's important not to kind of leave our males, you know, out of that equation, and always be there to monitor their health, like this beautiful boy. Isn't he amazing, eh? The fact he turned out to be het for Desert Ghost, I mean, wow. It was the first snake when I got back into the hobby, and I was looking on Morph Market, that I was like, I've got to have that guy, you know? I've got to have him. Beautiful, and I can't wait till the day where we can produce some Desert Ghost Batmans with him, and hopefully throw some other genes in there as well, depending on what female we can get. Anyway, that's enough about my boy. I'm going to talk about my egg tubs next. So since coming back into the hobby, I had to do what I didn't have to do first time round. First time round, I was given an incubator, I was given the egg boxes. All I had to do was put the substrate in there. You know, I whack them in the incubator, and I was very lucky to have that happen. And it was thanks to Darren Hughes from Neighbours Constrictors 13 for that. Darren's a phenomenal breeder and really knows what he's doing. And, you know, I was in that aspect where I didn't put too much thought into it, all other than making sure the temperature was right and monitoring the health of the eggs. But this time around, I had to pick my own boxes. I've got the white python incubator that I'm using, and there's something that I overlooked. And my man Ben at Infinity Morphs, I mean, Ben is one of my best friends. I mean, this guy, he's absolutely amazing. If you haven't checked his stuff out, please check him out. Infinity Morphs, Morph Market, Instagram. But he picked me up on something. When he watched my last video, I said about me using these boxes that have got a seal around the outside. And he sent me a message as soon as he saw the video, and he just said, you need to be careful, Rich, that because there's probably no airflow in there. And he said he knew somebody who had a clutch where, you know, the clutch got ruined because there wasn't enough air getting into the box. So I immediately jumped on my Discord group that I'm in with Rob Barraclough and Joe from Tully's Outrageous Royals and Racket Ralph and Hamlin. And I just asked, I said, guys, you know, do I need to put ventilation in these boxes? Because Ben was like, you need to get ventilation in there. And I was thinking, how can I do it when the eggs are already in the boxes, already in the incubator, without disturbing things too much? Now, I remember the boxes I had previously that were given to me, they had one hole in the top of the box. So I knew that's probably what I needed to do, and it was the safest way to do it. And the guys on the Discord group pretty much backed up what Ben from Infinity Morph said, and said, yes, you need to get some ventilation into that box so there's gas exchange, because it can affect the clutch, and they've known it to affect other people. So immediately, you know, I got down there and I hadn't touched the eggs. It's just over the halfway mark, and they all still look really healthy. And I cracked open the lid, and I've put, with a soldering iron, a hole in the top. But where the boxes were then sitting on top of each other, I've actually used 2 reels of sellotape either side to raise the other box up so that air can still get in to both boxes. So it's something that I had missed, that the community, you know, my close friends there had picked me up on. And I wanted to share that with you guys if you're sort of getting in and you're just doing your own boxes, that They do talk about not having too much airflow because you don't want things to dry out depending on what method you use for your egg boxes, but also vice versa. There needs to be some ventilation so gas can exchange, so air can get in, especially when these snakes start hatching out as well. All right, so just a little something from me that I've just learned that's been flagged up to me, and it might help someone out there too. So now it's just kind of the waiting game, you know. We've got those 2 sets of eggs that are in the incubator that are due to hatch around sort of the 14th of October and around the 20th of October. So we got those 2 clutches. We got the Batman Het Desert Ghost going to the Enchi Cypress Het Cryptic that I was talking about earlier, and hopefully we might get some eggs. She tends to lay in December, or she did with the previous breeder. So hopefully she might follow that timeline again. It'd be nice to get another set of eggs this side of the year before we go into next year, but it's all about planning for next year now and really thinking about what I want to do. And I want to do a lot with this boy right here. Hopefully you can see him there, but this is my Hurricane spot nose pastel clown male, who is possibly yellow belly or gravel. Now I have an Enchi yellow belly female adult clown, which would be awesome if he turned out to be gravel, and we put him to her and we could get some highway clown combos. But I really want to get Hurricane into as many combos as I can. I really love what Hurricane does with the alien heads. So beautiful. You know, we talk about spot nose a lot, don't we? But what Hurricane can really bring to distorting pattern and making it more crazy in clown combos is going to be awesome. So I want to get this guy up to size and get him ready. I don't know where he's going to be with where we would pair, but he's not ready yet. You know, he's got a way to go. And I just can't wait until we can start pairing him up. So I think the Batman is going to head the clown projects for now. But I'm really concentrating on my females and just giving them the food they need. Talking about feeding response, the Enchi Cypress Het Cryptic who went to the Batman, I was talking about the Batman needing some rest. Well, I'm going off food. Well, she's immediately done the opposite. She was just proper hunting food last night, and she got fed last night and she took it down ferociously. You can see she's switching on now. The fact that she paired to the Batman on the 3rd time of her going in there, it's like she's saying, I'm ready now. I've paired to the male, I've locked. Now feed me, because I want to build up as much as I can, because I'm going to produce some eggs. So I'm really, really looking forward to that, guys. And I'm really, really looking forward to the day that this guy right here can start the Hurricane clown projects off, and maybe some highway clowns too. I mean, look at the sides on him. What an amazing, amazing snake. So that's it snake-wise from me, guys. Let me know about this vlogging style, you know. I think more and more would it be better to just do more of a natural vlogging style and kind of talk about what's going on in the collection, rather than what I used to be, which was very much, you know, a presented channel and focused on education. Like I said, I still want to help and to educate. I've had a lot of people messaging me, and I love that. You know, if it's something I can help with, I certainly will. If it's something I can't, I can direct people to someone, or I can ask the question for you, you know, and get you the answer, because it's all about supporting each other. But guys, if you've been with the channel, you probably know that I came back, and what brought me back was my health issues dealing with gastritis, being type 1 diabetic. And where I'm at with that right now is I'm still really battling it. I've been battling it for 8 months, and it made me lose a lot of weight. So you see a big difference on my old videos compared to me on my new videos. And sometimes on the videos, my throat might be raspy or my voice is different. It's all about all the symptoms that gastritis gives you. And I've been trying lots of different diets and herbal remedies and supplements and everything to try and heal myself. And I've certainly come a long way from where I was back in sort of April, May, June. You know, I was really, really bad at that point and half the man I used to be. I'm steadily working my way back up. Got another doctor's appointment today actually to keep pushing to see what else they can do, because I know there's something else that is stopping the gastritis from healing. Gastritis can be a pain. It can take people years to heal it. Some can heal in like 6 months, you know. But usually there's something else wrong within the body as well that can stop it. So I'm waiting for a gastro appointment. That's not till next year. They're trying to move forward. Now I'm trying to push them for some more tests to see what else can happen. But It's an endless battle, guys, and I wanted to explain that I'm far, far from healed and I'm continuing to battle it. And this hobby has helped me with that health issue. It helped me take my mind off of it. That was the first thing, because all you do when you're ill, when you're chronically ill, is you think about that illness, you overanalyze it, you Google all your symptoms. And I needed something to pull me away from that, and it was the snakes. It was this hobby, and I started watching videos again and looking at snakes and thinking about snakes and planning things out, and it all shifted my mind away from that. It really helped, pull me from a mental health perspective. It shows the power of what this hobby can do for you, especially if you're going through any sort of, issues with your health. Guys, look, that's where I'm at. Again, thanks for your support as always, and all those people who keep checking in with me to see how I'm doing. I really, really appreciate it. Right, take care of yourselves. I'm winding off now, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.